All right. How is everyone tonight? Looks like I'm having to start over. Had a little bit of a glitch in my live stream. So I was doing a live stream just a minute ago and I hit the back button and ended up losing my live stream. It just acted like the live stream was over, but it wasn't. It wasn't over. So, how is everyone doing tonight? I am doing well myself. If you're new to my channel, the name of my channel is Retire Inspired, and my name is Sam. And in my channel, I talk about retirement specifically as it relates to me and my retirement experience. Tonight's video is going to be about making money in retirement, whether you do it with a side hustle, whether you do it with a pension, whether you do it with Social Security, however you are receiving your income in retirement. But for me, I receive a pension through my state employment, and I also receive money that I make from my side hustles. My side hustles are eBay, and my other side hustle is rental houses. And I want to welcome my brother, William, to the chat. Good to see you on here, brother. He called me just a second ago when I was offline. I had just been knocked off, but I am back now. So on tonight's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the money that I've made in the last 31 days from eBay. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my dashboard on eBay. So if you were watching earlier, I apologize. You're going to have to see this all over again. But my monthly sales were $4,912.52 for the period of May 14th through June 13th. So that is the last 31 days that my store has made $4,913.52. But one thing that eBay does is they take taxes out of that. So they took $293.34. They collected that from the seller or from the buyer, and eBay collected that. So I didn't have to worry about that. eBay takes care of that. Hey, Brad, how are you doing? Good to see you on here. So the selling costs that I had from eBay was 30% of my total sales. So I paid eBay $1,472.79 and was able to take home a net profit of $3,147.39. So how many items did I sell, you ask? I sold 67 items. The average sales price for those items was $73.34. So that is my eBay sales for the last 31 days. I'm going to actually go into those and show you those individual sales so that you can see exactly how that did. So out of those 66 buyers, only one of them was a repeat buyer. The rest of them were new buyers. So I'm going to go back to my stream here real quick and add a few of the comments. So my brother William says, how are things in Mayberry? References to your hat. So everything's good here in Montgomery, also known as Mayberry, not hardly. And Brad says, hello, you are doing well, I see. And he also says, hey, Brad, to William. William says, hey to Brad. So these are my brothers, two of my brothers. I only have two brothers. So these are my brothers that are watching. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good to see you guys on here. So I'm going to go back to my store, and I'm going to show you the items that I sold. What types of items I sold was $499 in toys and hobbies, video games and video game consoles, $414.60, collectibles, $353, sporting goods, $318, clothing, $276, consumer electronics, $231.72, and then it goes on down and just keeps going down until it shows the least amount of items that I sold in any particular category. Looks like I sold one item in eBay Motors. Let's see if that will. Okay. I've never actually gone into. Brad asked, "Am I still doing Airbnb?" Not currently. I am. My Airbnb is on a hiatus. So I'm gonna go to my store and show you the items that sold. I sold a modem card for $12.60. I have about $1 into that. That was an old modem card that I picked up for $1 at a friend of mine. Okay, I don't know who I don't know who you are, guy, but yeah, I think it's time for a name change. Fart Sack Jack. Fart Sack Jack. Yeah, I think it is. Hello, Fart Sack Jack. Okay, so I'm gonna go. That was funny. Just seen you was live. I'm a reseller in myself. Where are you a reseller, Fart Jack? Fart Sack. Good to see you on here. I think it is time for a name change, though. All right, so I'm going to go back to my sales. This modem here sold for $12.60, and I picked that up for $1. I bought it from a friend. I've had this thing for quite some time in my inventory. It's just been sitting there, and it's an old modem, so it's new old stock in the package. Got about $1 into it and was able to get about $12.60 out of it. But if you break it down by the amount of that I actually made off of the sale, the subtotal was $12.60, and the shipping was $5.45, and the sales tax was $2.08. So the order total was $20.13. I had transaction fees of $21.21 and ad fee of $2.01. So I actually earned $13.83. Fartsack Jack says, "No way my name makes people smile. That's a good thing in today's atmosphere. Lol. LOL." Yeah, he made me smile. Who wants a PC? Who wants a PC? You got an HP for sale? Butch? William? And you don't promote at all anymore. Okay. Well, I do. I promote pretty heavily, and I pay pretty heavily too for that. So, going back to the order, I'm going to back it up just a little bit. And the next item that I sold was a this was today's sales. I sold 3 items today. I sold that modem card, and I sold this Honeywell programmable digital thermostat, and I sold this Sony corded telephone. So with the thermostat, it was listed for $28 and 80 cents, and I ended up taking an offer on that. So I took an offer of $26, as you can see here. My total item subtotal was $26, $12.45 shipping. Sales tax was $2.31, so the order total was $40.76. So they paid a pretty high price for just considering that this is outside the box. It's not new. It is a used thermostat. I've got about $3 into that thermostat, so the order total was $40.76. Sales tax was $2.31. Transaction fees was $5.43, and my ad fee standard was $4.08, leaving me with $28.94 that I was able to take home. So if you weren't on earlier, Jack, but when I was on earlier, I mentioned that I'm paying around 30% of my sales to promote. So I do the dynamic promoted listing. That is the one that I use, and it seems to work pretty good for me. William asked, let's see. So Jack said he doesn't promote anymore. William says, are you monetized yet, Sam? Yes, I am. I just went over 1,000 subscribers in my last live stream, and that was an exciting moment. Yeah, I went over 1,000 subscribers, and I have over 4,000 watched hours. So that means that I will start getting paid for the time that I am, the minutes that I'm putting in that people are watching. So I appreciate all of my subscribers for watching, and I appreciate you all for coming back. So Jack says I promoted around 1,400 of them, 1,400 then, all over the place, percent-wise. I've seen people yapping about cost and just took about 2 weeks, and bam, I was getting daily sales. Ah, interesting. So you took all of you do have to promote at least 2%. So I know you're promoting at least 2%. Buy low, sell high. That's correct, William. And Jack says, and I never got daily sales with promoted. It's slowed down because it's slow down time, and I'm slow at taking pics. I have drafts made, just don't like pics. I understand. So Jack, sorry, I'm rambling. No. Keep rambling, Jack. I'm real interested in your store. And about how many items do you have listed, and about how much are you making in a 31-day period? I think yeah, you like the new sign? Yeah, I like it too. I just updated my sign. It says Retire Inspired now instead of Side Hustle Sam. That was the name of my channel before. So getting back to the items that I sold, I'm not going to bore you with this Sony corded telephone. This is the third thing that I have sold today so far. Just let you look at it. Got a $28.80 for the phone, and it's just a basic phone. I paid $3 for it at a yard sale. So that's that phone. Now I'm going to show you some of the better sales that I made. This sold yesterday. It was an Invicta Object d'Art. not a pocket watch. It's a wristwatch. This one sold yesterday. I thought it was pretty neat. I picked this up at a local pick that I did in the area, Wetumpka. So a lot of it has to do with the pictures you take. You know, you want to make sure and get the front, especially with a watch. You want to get the front, the back, and this one has some gears on the inside of it. So that's pretty neat that I was able to get those gears into the picture. But the I got a whole box of really high-end watches, and was able to pick the entire box up for about $160. I've already sold two of the watches now. Actually, three of the watches. I sold one of the watches for $360. Sold this one for $116, and I sold another one that was a Russian-made watch for $100. So that was pretty good. I'm doing real good on that purchase so far. So this is just showing you some of the pictures that I took of the watch, showing the inside of it. On this watch, you can actually see it has a glass back on it, so you can actually see the inside and watch the movement as it is moving. So I'm gonna break this down and show you how I did on this one. So I would say I've got about $20 into this watch. So it sold for $110.29 with $12.50 shipping and sales tax of $8.29. So the order total was $131.08. eBay collected $8.29 of sales tax. There was a transaction fee of $15.15. Shipping label cost me $4.38. So they paid $12.50. So I was able to pick up the difference of that as part of my earnings. The ad fee standard was $13.11. So my total earnings for that item was $90.15. Not bad at all. Going back to what people are saying, let's see. Jack says he's just over 1,500 listings now. Right now his numbers are way down because he hasn't been listing. So 31 days is $630, which is 45%. Not sure how much. See, that's the thing is if I go down in the number of in the percentage of promotions, I notice a real big drop in my sales, and so that's one reason why I don't mind doing that. Hey Jim, welcome from Oxford, Mississippi. Jim has a YouTube channel called Gumball Gold, and he has recently gone over 1,000 subscribers as well. By the way, Jim, I just went over 1,000 subscribers. So now I am monetized on YouTube. So welcome to the chat. We are talking tonight, if you're just joining us like Jim is, we are talking tonight about ways that you can make money in retirement. Jim knows all about that because he makes money with his Airbnb, and he also makes money with his gumball machines that he puts out. So if you haven't gone to his channel before, again, then I encourage you to go to his channel, Gumball Gold, and look at his videos and see how he goes out and makes money in his community. So this Field and Stream hat also sold. And it sold for $12.50. You can't get a whole lot for hats. They just don't make much money unless you get some really high-end, nice hats. So this one went for $12.60. It's just an old Field and Stream hat used. I have about a dollar into it, so I don't put much money into hats because they have a very low margin. So you're not going to make a whole lot of money on that. Jack says that Jack says he's looking into getting vending machines. I think that Jim would say that the gumball machines would not be considered vending machines. So I don't know. What is your take on that? That private pick that I had, I also got these vintage suspenders. These they call the LBE. I served in the military. I was in the Air Force. Did 20 years in the Air Force, and these things are called LBEs. If you've ever served in the military, you know what that means. It's a load bearing equipment. That means this belt right here is designed to put your ammo pouches and anything else, your camo, your canteen on there, and it just holds all your stuff for you. This is a Vietnam era load bearing equipment, or LBE suspenders, and it sold for $33.29. So let's look at the order details on that one. $33.29. I bought this at that local sale, and it was a private pick where I got the watches. And so I think I've got maybe $4 into this. Let's see, view order details. Let's see if it'll pull it up. There we go. All right, so the subtotal was $30. $11.40 shipping is what the buyer paid, and they paid $3.42 in 42 cents in sales tax. So their order total was $44.82. My transaction fees were $5.94. The shipping label that I paid for was $6.26. So you see the shipping, they paid $11.40, I paid $6.24, so I'm able to pocket the difference. Some people have a problem with getting money from the shipping label. Some people want to refund the difference that the buyer paid, but the thing is, the way I look at it is, I'm going to take that difference because I have cost involved in the shipping. I purchase boxes, I buy bubble wrap, I buy tape. I pay for all those things plus my time involved in shipping things. So there's nothing wrong with, in my opinion, with making a little bit of money off of the shipping. So ad fee standard was $4.48. So my total order earnings was $24.72 on that item. So that was pretty good. Now here's one of the best sales that I've had in the last week. We're going to go to some of these comments people are making. Jack says he knows it's not vending, but it's a start. I also want to do honor snack boxes, get your foot in the door, and it's easy to do. I'm real curious about where you are. Jack, if you were to do an honor box here in Montgomery, Alabama, I believe you would lose everything you had. But William says, how much inventory did you start with? Well, I started with zero inventory. I went to a yard sale and picked up items, and then I went out and listed them and sold them. So you got to start somewhere, right? And you can start with stuff around your house. If you have items in your house that you think that you can do without, then I suggest that you start with those items if you're going to get into reselling. Anybody can do it. You don't have to have a whole lot of money. All you need is a cell phone, internet access, and a little bit of time. So I suggest that if you are interested in trying it, give it a try. So Gumball Gold says, okay, I sure will. I'm an expert on machines, and if they can make a profit in the wild or just use for a piggy bank at home. And Jack says, me? I don't know what you mean by that, Jack. Gigi, I think there are older sturdy ones. Okay. I have been a wheeler and dealer my whole life. We used to do flea markets. We have 2 sheds full, and my basement is stacked and packed with eBay. Most is death pile. If you're interested in getting rid of any of that stuff, Jack, just let me know. If you're close by, I'll come to you. Oh, you're in Illinois. Nope, never mind. Central Illinois. Okay. Well, no, I don't think I'll be coming to you, Jack. Jim says, I saw a CB microphone on your last video. It's in rough shape, and almost any CB shop will buy it to refurbish it. They are called D104 lollipops. That's right. That is called a lollipop. And I did get it listed. So I might go to that and let you see what my listing looks like. William, my advice, learn how to do comps. Don't just buy stuff you think will sell that gets in a huge junk. I agree 100%, Jack. You are absolutely correct. You should always do your research and go to comps and see what has sold, and then base what you're going to price your items off of what is sold. But when you're out looking for stuff, if it's not just stuff that's around your house, when you're out looking for stuff, just take out your phone and look at your eBay app and pull that item up and see how much it's selling for. Don't just look and see what is listed, but you want to see how many of them have sold. So what you're looking for is you're wanting to get something that's got at least 50% of a sell-through rate. What that means is if there are 7 active listings of that item and 10 of them have sold, when you look at the sold listings, that means it's over 100% that have sold. So that's a good item to buy, and that is very good sound advice, Jack. So going back to what sold, one of the biggest items I sold was a couple of days ago, on the 10th. This sold. These were these Vapor Max, Nike Air Vapor Max Plus. Now, one thing about eBay is they do authenticity guarantee. eBay's authenticity guarantee, and so when you sell a pair of shoes like these that are high end, I guess you would call them high end, then you have to send them to the authenticity place, and you don't buy you don't have to purchase a shipping label for that. They give you a shipping label, and you just send it to wherever it needs to go. And I think it's Kentucky or somewhere like that. But these were a nice pair of shoes. I picked them up at a yard sale. These I paid a little bit more for because I knew that they had some value. I paid $128 for these. So, I mean, I didn't pay it. Correction, I did not pay $128. I paid $20 for these at the yard sale, and then they sold for $128.69. So I'm going to show you how that turned out. So it worked out pretty good as far as being able to make a little bit of money on that, one of the higher dollar items that I sold. So these sold for $122.26. They paid $14.95 shipping and $8.23 sales tax. So their order total was $145.44. So I didn't make any money on the shipping, and I don't make any money on any shipping when it's these high-end shoes like this. So the order total was $145.44. eBay shipping was $14.95. Sales tax was $8.23. My transaction fees was $16.40, and my shipping label cost was $0. So my total earnings on this item, I turned $20 into $105, which was a pretty good flip in my opinion. So we'll go to the next item. This is back to the private pick that I had. This is a new old stock, one of those old tubes that you can find I guess they go in the antique radios and stuff like that. So this tube, it sold for $67.50, which is a really good turnaround, considering I got all these tubes with that big buy that I did. And so if you were to break it down, I guess I got about $3 into this tube. So turn $3 into $67.50. And you can see it's one of those new old stock vintage electronic tubes that's made for vintage electronics. So let's see how much I made on that one. If you break it down, this item subtotal was $67.50. Shipping was $10.10. Sales tax was $7.18. And the order total was $84.78, which is what the buyer paid. So the sales tax was $7.18. My transactions fees was $8.03. Shipping label was $4.31. You see that there's a difference, $10.10 and $4.31. That takes care of my shipping expenses. You know, I have, like I said, I have to pay for those boxes. I have to pay for that bubble wrap and any paper that I use to fill in that box. I used to just pick up my boxes on the side of the road. I don't do that anymore because it's just easier for me, more cost effective for me not to have to have a whole room full of boxes, which I used to have, which I called Mount Boxmore, and I don't have that anymore. So I have my boxes in a neat little stack, and so they are not taking time for me to break them down and stick them somewhere and have a place to put them and all that stuff anymore. So I buy my boxes, and it's well worth it. I do get some free boxes, but I don't go around looking for them anymore. So the ad fee standard was $8.48, and my total earnings for that order was $56.76. So I was able to make a considerable bit of profit on that item. So I sold another hat. This hat right here is a adjustable men's hat. So I won't really spend much time talking about that. But if you watched my recent videos, you know I had a big Hot Wheel haul that I got at my local thrift store. I was able to buy a whole box full of Hot Wheels. It was like a plastic container. If you saw the video, you know what I'm talking about. But one of the items that sold was this Hot Wheel car. It's a 1969 red Ferrari 312P, and it was a red line. So when you say red line, what do you mean by that? Well, from 1965 to 1977, I believe, Hot Wheels made these cars that had the red lines. Now, since then, they have reproduced the red lines, so you have to be careful when you're looking at them that make sure that they're the original red lines. But this is one of the cars that was in the box, and there was 39 of them total. So if you say $8 into 39, that's pennies. I mean, it's maybe 15 cents is what I paid for this, and it sold for $75.60. That was a real good turnaround. So I'm really excited about this, and you know, there's 39 of them, so I've sold like 3 of them so far, and this one was the lowest amount that I made on any of them. The other 2 that I sold were over $100 a piece. So that was pretty good. Now I'm gonna show you what I made on it. So, you know, say I've got maybe 30 cents into this if you're going to be conservative. So the item subtotal was $75.60. Shipping was $8.85. Sales tax was $6.33, and the order total was $90.78. That's what the buyer paid for it. So then I had let's see, transaction fee of $11.61. Shipping label was $4.19. They paid $8.85, so I made a little bit on shipping. Ad fee standard was $9.08, so my total was $59.57. That's probably one of the highest ROIs on anything that I've sold in the last few weeks. If you're going to look at return on investment, that's what I mean by ROIs. So let's look at some of these comments. Jack says, red line. Yeah, I love red lines. And good money. A lot of Hot Wheels. See Shed Flips selling. Yeah. Shed Flips. They have a guy that they buy stuff from, and they call him Guy, I guess for lack of using his real name. And so, yeah, I love making a few bucks on shipping as well. And nice sale. Thank you, Jack. So that was a good sale, and I was really thankful for it too. Sold a pair of sunglasses, and I've had these sunglasses for quite some time. Actually, when I say some time, I've had them over 2 years. I actually found these in my death pile. There was a stack of them, and they make really good money. These, I don't even know where I got the sunglasses, to be honest with you. So I don't know how much I had into them. I'm sure it wasn't more than $2 a piece. But this pair sold. They're called Natty McNasty sunglasses, and they had clear frames and kind of a blue polarized lens. So they're nice glasses, and the other ones that I had were similar to these. Natty McNasty, but that's what the lens looks like. It's kind of a blue color. And last summer is when I sold my other sunglasses, and so they do really good about this time of year. The sunglasses do. So let's see how I did on those. The subtotal was $29. Shipping was $8.60. Sales tax was $2.20. So the order total was $39.86. My transaction fees was $5.32, and my shipping label was $4.02. So I made about $4, a little over $4 in shipping. And my order earnings was $28.26. So that was a pretty good turnaround for something that I didn't even know I had. Sometimes it's good to go back through your death pile. I'm sure Jack understands what I'm saying there. Going back through your death pile and getting stuff sold. So this right here, Jack Nicklaus golf clubs. This was a big sale, $117. There were a lot of them in here. It was a complete set. I picked this up for $20 at a yard sale about a year and a half ago. It took some time to sell because people, they don't mind paying up for expensive items like this, but they don't like to pay that huge shipping cost. There's always going to be a huge shipping cost on anything that is this big. I might just go back through all of my listings and see what I have that is large and just change the shipping cost to a flat rate instead of using calculated shipping on those big items, because I think that is one of those things that prohibits them from selling, because these have been sitting in my inventory for quite some time. They are large. They weren't fun to ship. I can tell you that right now. The shipping, you see here, the average standard shipping was $72.01. So it was a good sale. I was glad to get it, but I had to go get a huge box, and then I had to cut it and do what we call Frankenbox it together, and I was able to do that and get it all boxed up, but it wasn't easy. I was sweating before it was over with. So the buyer paid $117 in for this item, and then they paid $84.31 shipping. Sales tax was $19.12, so they had all in at $220.43. So their transaction fees were, my transaction fees were $27.62. My shipping label cost $25.39. So you can see from $84.31 to $25.39. We do get a shipping discount with eBay. So even though the buyer paid $84.31, that was probably what the actual shipping would cost. But I get a little bit of a discount because I'm a top-rated seller. And so that's one of the benefits of being a top-rated seller on eBay is being able to get a benefit. So I paid $18.96 out of the sale for the ad fee. And so my total earnings were $129.34, which was not bad at all. I was really glad to get that amount. Now I'm going to go back and show you another Hot Wheel that sold. I was really excited for this one too. This was the second Hot Wheel that I had that sold. These are all June sales, so it's been a good month so far. This is came out of that Hot Wheel buy. It's a 1967 red line custom Camaro. See the red lines? See, the paint job is not real great here. You have some dings and some places, but I got buttons with a lot of these Hot Wheels, and these buttons came in the packaging when they originally came out in the 60s. So you get this button in the packaging with the Hot Wheel, and so inside that bin, the plastic bin where all of these were, there were a lot of these buttons in here, and I was able to match them up with the Hot Wheels. Now, one thing I think that helped this one sell real well is that it had this light blue interior to it. I don't know if that's a rare thing for this particular model or not, but I know that the Hot Wheels cars came out with different colors. And another thing I've learned about Hot Wheels once I started doing the research about them is that little things like the interior make a huge difference in the price of the Hot Wheel, but also where it was made. Some were made in Hong Kong, some were made in the U.S. The ones that were made in Hong Kong, the paint lasted longer. The ones that were made in the U.S., the paint bubbled in some cases and really did not hold up well over time. But this one, you see, it has a hood that opens up. So this was a custom Camaro and from 1967. So that was the second Hot Wheel out of the three that I've sold so far. Sold for $134, which was great. So let's look at the order details on that one. All right, so on that one, so again, I've got $8 in the whole bucket. There were 39 of these red lines plus a whole bunch of other Hot Wheels in there that I haven't even got to yet. But that one sold for $127.39, $8.45 shipping, and the sales tax was $12.23. So this buyer paid $148.07 for this Hot Wheel with the button. So my transaction fees were $18.69. The shipping label was $3.96. So I made a little over $4 on the shipping. Ad fee standard was $14.81. And so my order earnings for that sale was $98.38. Very pleased with that. I just realized that that you didn't get to see that, so I'm going to go to it again. So what I earned was the total earnings was $98.38. You see the transaction fees was $18.69. Shipping label was $3.95. Ad fee was $14.81. So the total earnings on that was $98.38. That was a good score. Jack says, Natty McNasty, that sounds like old WCW wrestler's name. Yeah, I agree. And I do. I just went through stuff from long ago and prices went up. Just junk paying rent for itself. Yeah, it does. It's good when you can go through old stock that you've got that has been sitting in a death pile and you forgot it was there, and it's almost like you found it again for the first time, isn't it? Jack says, I have two sets. I need to list, just don't want to ship. And another nice score. I guess he was talking about that last Hot Wheel. Okay, so the next item that I sold was this this model, and this is a new old stock balsa wood model airplane kit, and I got this. There's a store here not too far from me where the guy sells gold and silver, and actually he sold gold and silver, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that situation. The guy's name was George Elijah, and he sold gold and silver. It's probably about 2 miles from where my eBay headquarters is here in Montgomery. And I would go there, and he'd say, "Hey, listen, I've got some stuff here somebody brought in, and I don't feel like listing it on eBay." He sells gold and silver on eBay, and he sells other items on eBay too. But he said he just didn't feel like listing some of the stuff, and this is one of the things that came in, and I was able to buy it. I paid $5 for this balsa wood model airplane, and it's vintage. So it sold for $35.10, which was a pretty good deal. And the item subtotal was $35, and they paid $15.55 shipping and $3.04 sales tax. So they paid $53.69 total for this item. Sales tax was $304. Transaction fee was $7.03, and the shipping label was $7.17. So I made a little over $7 on the shipping. The order earnings was $36.46. So you see that it's really great to be able to find these things in the wild, and to have connections of people that buy and resell, that you can buy and resell things from. This was another good sale that I had recently. This one sold on the 7th of June, which was just a few days ago. This is a Technics Technics quartz SLQ 300 automatic direct drive turntable. I have a box with a speaker in it that I use to test things like this with, and so I was able to test this, and it worked. I plugged it in, and the red light came on, the turntable turned, and this, apparently, I didn't realize this. I got this at a yard sale a couple weekends ago, and it was about $10 for this, and I didn't realize it was such a high-end turntable, but I kind of had an eye for it. I knew just from looking at it that it was one of the better ones. I didn't know how much better, but I knew I couldn't go wrong for $10. So I bought this item and turned around and listed it and got it sold for $130.50. It did not have a cord with it. So one thing that I suggest for resellers, if you are going to be buying and selling electronics, is that you collect as many cords as you can. Where did you get that little shoe stand you use for the shoe picks? I picked that up at a yard sale. So you're looking at my shoe picks, okay? Yeah, I picked that up at a yard sale, and I don't think I paid very much for it. A lot of the items I get in yard sales, some of the items I use for my business, so it works out pretty good. And one thing I like about selling larger items is that I do make more on the shipping than on the smaller items. You saw earlier when I shipped out that golf club, those golf clubs, I probably made $50 on that, on the shipping of the golf clubs. But I tell you, it wasn't easy. I earned the money that I made on that. So this turntable sold for $130.50. The shipping was $86. That's what the buyer paid. Sales tax was $15.22. The order total was $231.72. My transaction fees was $21.25. Shipping label was $15.86. So you see, I made about $50 on shipping that item as well. The ad fee standard was $20.85, and so the order earnings was $158.54. So that was a pretty good flip, in my opinion. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these smaller items. I sold a Barnes and Noble Nook for $17.99. That's actually the second time I've sold that item. The first time I sold it, they claimed it didn't work, and so they returned it. Hope that it doesn't get returned again this time. So I also sold a vintage Sony Pocket AM/FM radio. This was a really good sale right here. It's an original OEM manufactured 1970 to 1971 Ford Torino Cobra door panel emblem, and I bought this at that private pick that I was talking about earlier, where I bought the watches. So this emblem, I had no idea when I picked it up. Sometimes you just have to pick stuff up, but I didn't research it. I didn't want to research it in front of the lady that I was buying it from, because I really didn't know it had that much value. But I was able to pick it up, and it sold for $85.50. And just like with the shoes, eBay Motors also guarantees all of the automotive parts. So this would have been included in the automotive parts that were sold through eBay as being authentic. And if the buyer's unhappy, then eBay makes sure that they have access to be refunded. So this is the Cobra, goes on the inside of the door handle for the Ford Torino. And in this, I have maybe $1 into it. And so it sold for $85.50. Shipping was $10.75. Sales tax was $5.29. And so the order total was $101.54. So my transaction fees was $10.77. Shipping label was $4.02, and the ad fee standard was $10.15. So my order earnings, my total order earnings on that was $71.31. I mean, that's, you can't beat that. You just throw it into a bubble mailer, and you wrap it up a little bit with some bubble wrap, but you throw it into a bubble mailer, and you're good to go. You just stick it in the mail, and it's good. Very easy to ship. Let's see what Jack said. They called them some kind of coin. Challenge coins. Yeah. Tell me about the challenge coins. I remember all the old vets at the VFW would slam a coin on the bar, and if you didn't have your coin, you had to buy drinks for everyone. That's right. They call them challenge coins. When I was in the military, I got challenge coins. A lot of times the commanders will give you those coins as kind of a reward for doing a good job, and you can buy the coins, or you can get them given to you. But they are called challenge coins, and I bought. If you're looking at my store, you can tell that I have a bunch of challenge coins listed in my store, and I've actually sold a lot of those challenge coins. They really have a lot of value, and they're very easy to ship. So I was really pleased with the way that they have done so far. I bought the whole, it was like a container full of about 40 challenge coins, and and I've been selling them on average 50 and 60 and $70 for those challenge coins, which was it was just amazing how well those things sell. I paid $20 for the whole thing, and I have just been making money hand over fist with those challenge coins since then. Maybe we'll get to one here. I'm not sure if I sold one in June, but I'm not going to go back further than June because we're almost over an hour on this live stream. So I'm not going to try to go too much over an hour. But yeah, those challenge coins, if you ever find them out there, be sure and pick them up. They do really well. Yep. Jack says the Cobra emblem is sweet. Yes, I agree. Torino with the 429 Cobra. Yep. Yeah, I seen that. I didn't realize that was something a person would let go of. Had to have meaning to receive them. The guy that I didn't get, I really didn't finish my story about George Elijah. He's the guy that I bought that airplane from that I showed earlier. And I've bought several items from him that have made good money. And I bought those challenge coins there as well. But I want to tell you a little bit about George. George was a really good guy and a very kind person, and he was a friend of mine. I considered him a very good friend. About a week ago, he was at a Hispanic convenience store here in Montgomery, and some people came in and robbed the convenience store, and he was there at the time, and he was shot and killed. He was murdered. Him and two other people, two Hispanic people, that the guy that owned the convenience store and his son. He was 20. The son was 20 years old. The guy that owned the store was like 46 years old, and the guy that my friend that died, he was 50 years old. His name was George Elijah, and it was really sad that he passed away. That he was shot. He was just visiting friends. He was just there visiting friends, and he was just shot and killed. His son, I knew his son. I knew his wife. I would go there and visit them almost on a daily basis. And on the day that he was murdered, I had just left his shop like an hour before that, and it really hit me hard that he got gunned down like that. And I hope that they catch the people that did that, and I hope that they yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But I hope that they catch the people that did that, and I hope that they bring them to justice. Thank you, Marty. Okay, so getting back to the sales, one thing that I used to sell a whole lot of that I haven't sold a whole lot of recently, but I think it'll pick up in the third quarter when I get into selling items for Christmas, are the video game consoles and bundles. So I sold a Nintendo bundle. I used to sell a whole lot of these, but they've kind of slowed down. But I think that they'll probably pick up again pretty soon. But so what I do is when I'm at yard sales or at the thrift store, I actually found there were 10 or 15 of these, and I picked them up for very good price. Good evening, Dallas Flipping. Dash, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you on here. So I make these bundles, and I put these video game consoles, and I'll get some. If I don't already have the controllers, then I get some controllers. Make sure that I have the power supplies and the AC adapters. And for the Wii, you have to have this bar for it to work. And then I put a couple of games with it. And these Nintendo consoles, they don't sell for big money, but this sold for $72. I usually have about $15 or $20 into the bundle completely. And so I try to keep my costs down when I'm buying video game consoles at yard sales and that sort of thing, so that I can increase my profit margin. But they just haven't done as well recently as they have in the past. But to show you some of the order details on those, that sold for $72 with $14.45 shipping. Sales tax was $5.62. $92.07 was their total. I had a selling cost of $6 of 84 cents for transaction fees. I paid $6.66 for the shipping label. I almost changed that because I didn't like the 666. I almost changed it to a different shipping just to get it off of that 666. But I decided to go ahead and go with that anyway because it was the cheapest. There was ad fee of $9.21. So my total earnings on that item was $63.73. $63.74, correction. I sold a baseball bat, a Louisville Slugger baseball bat. That's one thing you can get into trouble with, baseball bats. I have a stack of baseball bats that I haven't sold, and they're just sitting. They're just sitting in my listed inventory. But every now and then you'll run across a really good baseball bat. This Louisville Slugger I paid like $3 for at a yard sale, and it sold for $51.29. This is one of the more higher end baseball bats. The way that you can tell if they're good, if they're real good bats, is if you look in the end, you'll see that it has the 29 inches, and then just look for this right here on the end. If you see that, then you know it's a pretty good bat. And Louisville Slugger is usually a pretty good bat. But how did we do on that bat? Let's see. So the order details: the item sold for $48.73 with $24.18 shipping. $72.91 is what the buyer paid. I had transaction fees of $9.40, shipping label $6.53, and the ad fee was $7.29. So I was able to bring in $49.69 on that item. All right, let's get back to the first Hot Wheel that I sold. This was probably my favorite Hot Wheel in the bunch. And again, for the whole container full of Hot Wheels, I paid $8. And this was the 1969 Redline Mustang Boss Haas red tan, and it had the button with it. So I listed it for $165, and I give 10% discount on everything I have, so that people, when they make those purchases, they feel like they're getting a good deal. But this is the Boss Haas. I almost said Boss Hog. Boss Haas. Yep. And this one little Hot Wheel sold for $148.50. I think that might be my best flip of the week, as Dash would say. He has a weekly update. We talks about his flip of the week. So let's see how that did. Let's look at the order details and see how much I actually made on that. So 39, I paid for 39. I paid $8 for 39 of these Hot Wheels with the red lines. So I guess you could say I've got a couple of dollars into it. So it sold for $141.07, $8.60 shipping, and sales tax was $12.01. So the buyer paid $161.68 for this item. The transaction fees that I paid was $20.37. Shipping label was $4.43. So the ad fee standard that I paid was $16.17. And my order earnings on that was $108.70. So that was a real good flip. I was able to. Dash, you just joined us. Dash says, good deal. And flip of the week. Yeah, I think that was probably my best flip this month, actually. But that was the third one that I've sold so far out of the 39 the 39 red lines that I got in that buy. So that was excellent. It was really excellent. The next item that I'll talk about here is this vintage Nylent aerial hook ladder. This hook and ladder, fire truck, ladder 31, engine company 5 fire truck. These old metal fire trucks, they go for good money. Any of these old metal trucks or cars or any of that stuff, they go for pretty good money. This one has been sitting in my store surprisingly for quite some time, and it finally sold. I guess probably part of the reason why it stayed in the store for so long without being sold was because it's a large item, so it cost a little bit to ship. Looks like the buyer didn't pay a whole lot on this one to ship it. We'll see here in just a second, but I paid $5 for this at my other friend George's flea market that he had. My other friend George is no longer in business either. He ended up going to prison. he got involved with a young underage female and got himself into trouble. So I'm not having too much luck with my friends named George. Okay, so that sold for $69 with $24.10 shipping, and sales tax was $5.78. So the order total was $98.88 that the buyer paid. They did really good on the shipping on that, only paying $24.10 because I don't think I made much on that for the shipping. So it was $98. I paid transaction fees of $12.61. Shipping label was $19.99. So I did make a little bit, but not much, about $4, $3 or $4. And the ad fee was $9.89. So my total earnings on that item was $50.61. Now this next item, Rocky Men's Branson Roper boots. I got these on a Whatnot, and if you are not familiar with Whatnot, it is a reselling platform where you auction items and you buy and sell items at auction, and it's a live auction. So I am on Whatnot. I am a Whatnot seller, but I bought these from a YouTuber that I'm familiar with that I've been following for some time, named Rally Roots, and I paid pretty good money for these boots. I think I have about 85 into them. I bought them on the auction on the Rally Roots Whatnot, and so it sold for $112. Not a whole lot of profit on this one because of the fact that I paid so much for them. But I thought that they would go for a little bit more than they did. I had to keep going down on them on a regular basis. They just didn't sell. They've been sitting in my store for about 6 months. But they sold for $112.50. The shipping was $22.15. Sales tax was $12.46, and so the order total was $147.11. I paid $18.57 in transaction fees. The shipping label was $10.92, and the ad fee was $14.71. So my total earnings was $90.45 on those boots. So I can thank Rally Roots for throwing me a bone, and at least I made a little bit of money on it, right? Now, this is another item that I bought. It's a vintage 1962 Roscoe Toys Charlie Weaver. I was able to put a video up on this one to show that it worked. But for some reason, the video went missing. But you can still see from the pictures that I posted that he's actually working. I put the batteries in it, and it's just a neat vintage, old vintage toy. And vintage items sell for pretty good money. His shirt was really dirty. I took some cleaner and did the best I could to try to clean his shirt off as well as I could. So, but he worked. And it's neat because his face lit up, and you could see where he poured the drink into his cup, and then he raised the cup to his mouth and drank, and then smoke would come out of his ears, out of these little pipes, these two little pipes right here. So smoke would come out of his ears. So that was pretty neat. I bought this at my friend George that was killed at his store. and I bought it from a guy directly off of the guy, and I paid I paid $30 for this, and it sold for $139.50. So that was a vintage, new old stock toy called Charlie Weaver Bartender, and that was a pretty good purchase there. So it sold for $139.50. Shipping was $21.35. Sales tax was $8.37. And so the order total was $169.22. My transaction fees was $21.30. Shipping label was $8.12. So I made about $14 on shipping. And the ad fee was $16.90. So I made $114.51 that I was able to bring home on that sale. So that, my friends, concludes all of the sales that I got in the month of June so far. So it was a very productive month. I was really excited to get some of the items that I was able to pick up and able to sell them for really decent money. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's video and enjoyed seeing the things that I sold. I'll try to put up a video once every other week, if not every week, to show some of the items that I've sold so that you'll get an idea of what I'm buying and selling. I will also be putting up haul videos on a regular basis and letting you see what I'm picking up in yard sales. So I'm not going to make this channel completely about eBay, but eBay is one of my biggest money makers in retirement, and I enjoy doing it. Hey, Jim. Yeah, the microphone that I'm using now is this gold microphone. It's called a Blue Yeti. Blue Yeti. But it's a real good microphone. I like. It has noise canceling. I noticed that the microphone you use, you hold it up to your face. Not making fun of you, Jim, but you hold your microphone up like this, and I can't see your face when I'm watching your videos. Hope you enjoyed that. But anyway, I hope that everyone enjoyed tonight's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and a thumbs up, and make sure you comment on down below in the comment section, because when you comment, when you like, when you subscribe, then it really helps my algorithm, and it would be nice if I could make a little bit of money on YouTube. I don't know if it'll be much. It'll probably be pennies on the dollar. Yes, you have a dead kitty on it. I think it's funny when you hold your dead kitty up to your face and I can't see you. I can hear you real well. It's a nice sounding microphone, but I can't see you. Yep, it's a dead cat. They call it a dead cat. But hold it away from your face when you do your videos, Jim. That'll make it a lot better. I'm just picking on you. Anyway, Dash, thanks for joining us tonight. William, thanks for joining us tonight. Marty, thanks for joining us tonight. Jack, thanks for joining us. And Brad, last but not least, thanks for joining us. I'm glad that you all were able to come in and spend some time with me tonight. And thank you all for subscribing to my channel. For those who have subscribed, I appreciate it. If you have not subscribed, be sure and subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting out regular live videos now on a regular basis. And I'll be trying to put out weekly videos, just regular videos. So Dash, I hope you have a good night as well. I hope everything is going well in Texas, in Dallas. Hope that the weather is not too hot. It has been hot, hot, hot here. So we're praying for cooler weather. I'm like number 2. What does that mean, Jim? What does it mean? I'm like number 2. I've heard people say I'm number 1, and I've heard people say I'm number 2. What does that mean? Help me out there. But anyway, I'm going to stay on just long enough for Jim to answer my question because I'm very curious. And then I'm going to call it a night. It has been a hot, hot summer so far. I think it got up to 96 degrees here in Montgomery, and it was a hot one. The like button count. Okay, you're number 2 for my like button count. Okay. Well, I will be sure and add some more likes to your channel too then. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. And come back and see me on the next one. Be sure and visit again. Make sure and leave a comment if you haven't already. So thank you all, and I will call it a night. Marty, love you too. Y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.